everybody, welcome back, and we're going to take a closer look at another pinball machine in my collection. And this is one I'm sure a lot of you will be excited about because it is a collector favorite as well as a pinball fan favorite, and that is Medieval Madness. The collectors all want it, people who aren't even collectors want it, and quite frankly, the operators are still operating it. It was released in 1997, and yet it still makes money on location, so it's hard to get them to part with it, and the amount of games that are out in circulation are very small. There is rumored to be only about 4,000 of them out there. At this point in the late 90s, Williams was trying to be careful because pinball just wasn't selling and arcades were having trouble, and Williams ended up closing a couple of years later. So as a result, Medieval Madness really commands a high price. Still, even as of 2009 here, it still commands a hefty price because all the collectors want it. My story is basically, I bought an Attack from Mars in the summer of 1999, and a friend of mine wanted an Attack from Mars. He had a Medieval Madness. So I literally did an even trade. But I had to pay the shipping on both machines because we used a freight company because we live so far apart. But when you take into account how much an Attack from Mars went for back in 1999 and how much freight would cost, it still was a hell of a deal. And I paid considerably less for Medieval Madness than I should have, but also considerably less than it goes for now, almost half what it seems to go for now. And it was one of the best trades I ever made because I really like Attack from Mars, but I love Medieval Madness. Medieval Madness was actually designed by Brian Eddy, and Brian Eddy designed a couple great games, including Attack from Mars. It has a sort of fun for novices but great for the experts kind of feel, and I think that's why the Medieval Madness game itself has become so popular amongst collectors. Not only because it's fun to play, but because it has a lot of really deep rules in there, even though it looks very simple. The main gimmick of the game is the castle. And the whole goal is to smash away at the castle, and then finally you shoot the ball into the castle blows up, bam. And it's a really cool gimmick that it's very easy for a novice player to do because all they have to do is shoot up the middle enough times, and then this whole castle explodes, and it's just really cool. On the playfield are actually a bunch of different castles, including Lord Howard Hertz's castle, Sir Psycho, the King of Pain is the last one, and the goal is to defeat the King of Pain's castle. So you actually have all these multiple castles you have to defeat. Then you have a lot of other things you have to do. As you keep shooting loops and ramps, you move up a notch here on the lights. Castle Crusher, Joust Champion, Catapult Ace, blah blah blah, all the way up the links here. Once you complete all that stuff in the game, you then can battle for the kingdom, and that's sort of the last thing in the game to do, and it's not the easiest thing to get to. It takes a long time to battle for the kingdom. So see, the novice player is beating up on the castle and they're having fun doing that. The expert is trying to battle for the kingdom and get all the stuff in the kingdom. There's a damsel in distress up here at the top right, and if you shoot the right ramp enough, the little gate opens up. You can shoot it right into there and save the damsel. We have a catapult here. The ball literally just launches all the way up around here. I actually took a gate. There used to be a gate here when the ball would come in, but if you get multiple balls in there, they get stuck. And so I got sick of that happening, and so I literally removed the little gate. I do have it though, but catapult's kind of cool. The other great thing are the trolls, and the trolls are kind of hidden. All of a sudden the trolls pop up, and you can beat up on the trolls over and over and over. It's a really cool gimmick in this game.
I never liked him.
The game has a lot of really awesome speech. There's no question that Monty Python's Holy Grail was a huge factor in the speech, in some of the quotes. There's a lot of funny quotes. The music fits the theme perfectly. In fact, I think some very famous people had something to do with that. If I remember correctly, Tina Fey did some speech for the game. There's actually quite a bit of, there's a lot of history about Medieval Madness if you read up on the history of the game, the trivia on this particular machine. It's very interesting.
I thought I locked that gate.
Now, my Medieval Madness is very similar to my Addams Family in that when I picked it up, it had only been owned by one other person. It was a one-owner kind of game, and then I got a hold of it. So as a result, everything on it is original. The ramps are original ramps. They're in great shape. The castle is all original. All the plastics are in great shape. Nothing is cracked. The playfield is in excellent shape. They've actually reproduced this playfield, and so you can get decent playfields. It's expensive, but you can get nice ones. This is an original, really held up nicely. The cabinet is also very nice. It's got very few nicks. There's no fading. Overall, it looks really good. There was a sort of putt-putt, batting cage, arcade kind of place that had a little bit of everything. It was called Sportland. And I used to go there a lot, especially in college, because they were one of the few places left that actually still had new pinball machines. They got the new ones, you know, and so I would often, in college, I would leave and I would head over to Sportland and I'd plunk some quarters down during my breaks in between classes. It wasn't too far from school. And so I used to play Medieval Madness like crazy. It was probably the one that I played the most. And I knew I really wanted to get that game someday. And I'm so thankful I got it when I did back in 1999. It was literally December of 1999 when I did the trade. I've had it ever since. So I've had it for about 10 years now. And it was one of the best trades I ever made because I wouldn't buy it now. It goes for too much money now. But I have mine. So I'm happy. And there you have it. There's a look at my Medieval Madness. Again, one of my favorite games in the collection. It's more than likely going to stay here forever. I have a lot of memories and nostalgia playing this game, and I love it. And I can't sell it. So, until next time.